Uh, my name is Daw and then I'm going to be the moderator and co-host for the tonight's forum. Good evening, everyone. Let me start our forum by introducing our speaker. So let me introduce with Daw Mya Oo, and uh, the speaker and the presenter for this week's forum is Daw Mya Oo from SSBU, Shan State Buddhist University. We are very fortunate to have Daw Mya Oo because she has very high profile in research field and who has already had publications. Please allow me to introduce her. She's got her first degree in 1985 at the Bachelor of Commerce from Yangon Institute of Economics. And then she finished her master's degree in Library and Information Science Studies in 2001 from Yangon University. Regarding her professional background, she was a director at the National Library of Myanmar in Yangon from 2010 to 2017. Again, she was the director of the National Library of Myanmar in Naypyidaw from 2017 to 2021. In 2021, she joined Shan State Buddhist University, SSBU, as librarian and lecturer. And she has been working there until now. And she engaged in research works and she has produced, I think, 15 different academic papers, both in English and Myanmar. Am I right? Uh, Yes, and her two publications include Future of Myanmar Libraries, which is in Myanmar language, and Depository for Buddhist Scriptures of the 16th Century in Mya Oo. So our speakers for tonight has very strong professional experiences as well as academic background. May I invite Daw Mya Oo to deliver her presentation on the topic librarians ethics. Please, the screen is yours, Daw Mya Oo. Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, Popo, and the all participants and the moderator also. Um, may I present my topic as the librarian's ethics. Actually, it's a paper in the Myanmar language which I presented in 2022 at the opening of our new library building at the Shan State University in Myanmar. So now I'm trying to present in English. Before that, I just say that I'm not very fluent in English, so it will be the practicing for my the presentation. So may I share the slides? So can you see my slides?
No yet, no yet.
Not yet.
Oh.
Both, yeah, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
Should be
Don't see.
proposed to her in order to share.
Already.
Already?
Of course. Yeah. Maybe pause two for sharing. Pause only all participants I can do. Okay, share. Okay, now.
minimize လုပ်လို့မရလို့ဖေ။ It's
minimize.
okay, you can just talk. No, we can share it. Can't share. Control M.
Otherwise, I can give pause. Okay, now.
Okay. Let me share.
Okay, now got it. Okay.
We can see now.
Yeah.
Yes. Before started this, I'd like to explain about some of the ethics, the word ethics, because the code of ethics for the librarian is librarian and the library professionals and the library staff should know, and we have to follow the library ethics. So, shall we go to the word ethics? So the word ethics is originally from the ancient Greek language. The word is the etho in ancient Greek, and then through the Latin words ethica, then transformed to the English word ethics. It means that the character or morals. So the ethic is the science in society as right or wrong, and good or bad, or appropriate or inappropriate, and so on. So the ethic is a moral principle that guide the person's behavior, the conduct, and the moral values, commitments, and the responsibilities to the society. So there are different the codes of conduct of the different fields, or that's define the ethics that the professionals should follow. So in order to enhance their own dignity and the benefits of the society. So this ethical value for the librarians and the library professionals include the intellectual freedom and the freedom of expression and freedom of access to knowledge, information, and culture. So, and principles are logical and the political and religious neutrality. So the International or Federation of the Library and the Information Associations, we call it the IFLAR. It has developed the General Code for Ethics of the Librarians and the Library Professional in 2012. So this document present the main ethical principle that librarians should follow. So shall we look these main principles in the 5 areas? So the first area is the access to information. So access to information means get the information in right way. So the main task of the librarian is to ensure access to information for all, for personal development and education, cultural enrichment, leisure, economic activities, and from our reliable resources. So we find the information, what people need by using our resources in the library. So we have to be careful the sources are reliable and trustworthy sources. The librarian should not use the unreliable and the outdated sources and should not provide the ensure the information to the users. And the librarian also needs to know the reader's situation. To provide the good services, it's important to realize the reader's level of education, the reader's level of education, and in depth of information that the reader that he needs and the purpose of use and so on. These services provide to the child, services provide to our high school student, and the services provided to the researchers are quite different. That's why we need to know the reader's situation. Libraries arrange the access in the collections and the services at the lowest cost in accordance with the established rules. And sometimes we have to provide it freely. So except for rare and the difficult to handle library materials, maybe a fragile materials, the librarian use the most effective ways to make the material accessible to all with the provided circulation policy. It means for borrowing. And the librarian should avoid the unethical practices such as the hiding some materials of the library materials and keeping them for our close friends and taking out the library materials or books without borrowing. Even we are librarians. Even we are librarians. Our librarians needs to follow the rules of the circulation, and we have to register for the borrowing books. So, and then we have to promote and publicize the collections and the services, such as through our website, in order to be aware and be accessed by the users. And another principle is the responsibilities towards the individuals and society. So it's mainly librarians should not discriminate against individual or organization by providing information services. We should provide the equal services to all readers, regardless of age, nationality, political beliefs, physical or mental ability, or gender and education, or income and marital status, and the origin and the race and religion, and so on. So we should not approach or discriminate against in any way to expect gifts from the users or to seek the opportunities from the users or to gain more friendship with the users and so on. So librarians should provide equal services by the treating minorities or ethnic groups in our countries, in their own countries, with more respect. If possible, the librarian should create the opportunities for using the library in languages of the ethnic group. So we should prioritize the collections of the ethnic literature and prepare instruction on how to use the library in the ethnic languages. And if possible, appoint library staffs who are experts in the ethnic languages. So in our library, the SSBU, we have different the collections, and then we also arrange the Shan collections for the Shan in the Shan language for the Shan ethnic groups, and also we have a collections for the Bao people or some other the ethnic literature. So librarian also provide the ways to reader to find the information they need on their own. We have to show how to use the library catalog and the location of the book and the document and the resources and the library guide. So in addition, librarians guide the library users the sources in which information they need. So that's why we are trying to read the books in advance to know the information in to help the readers. So if necessary, we have to refer the subject experts or scholars. However, the librarian should avoid any sub-benefits such as accepting the gifts from the readers or demanding the privileges or the opportunities for the personal benefits. And librarians are strive to improve the reading skills, maybe the soft skill of the library users. We have to develop the programs to improve their soft skill of the readers, such as the information literacy program and the digital literacy program. And they have to know which information is the right and which is the fake information, or which is the reliable information. So we need to educate the readers, our communities, with the programs. Librarian must aware the own reliable resources of the information and make efforts to know readers how to verify the information sources. The principle is the privacy, secrecy, and the transparency, because a librarian should respect the privacy of each library users and protect their patron by keeping their personal information confidential. And librarians and library staff should not share the patron's information outside of the library except for the library purpose. So this is the most important for the library and the library professionals. However, sometimes librarians need to support and participate in the transparency in the government programs for the public interest. In this regard, we should provide the users information to the government or the departments for their purposes. The next principle is the open access and the intellectual properties. So librarians support for the principles of the open access, open source, and the open license, and to provide the best the public access, possible access for the library users. So open access refers to scholarly publications that freely available in library and the library users. The funders support the scholars in publishing the scholarly articles or papers and distribute these publications at very low cost or free of charge, so that the libraries especially are maybe underfunded, or maybe our libraries in the developing countries like Myanmar, they can use the open access publications. But open source refers to the open source software that is freely available and can be used by libraries without paying fees. Open source software is generally available for free or very minimal cost, and it needs to purchase of the additional licenses for each computer and for installation. The open source software is not only less expensive to purchase than the trademark software, but also often the lower implementation and the support costs. So librarian can benefit from using the open source software, including the lower initial cost. Open license is generally defined as the materials that anyone can legally copy, use, and redistribute without paying the license fees. So, for example, the open educational resources, OER, are freely distributed by the UNESCO. It's a type of the educational resources that is available in the public domain and under the free license. So we can or use it legally, copy and use and then redistribute them. So it's very much or contribute to the readers. So we have to use the open source, open access and the open license in our library. And librarian must understand that to share the way and the means of obtaining, using open access, open source, and the open license to provide effective services to their readers. The aim is to provide the library users with legal access and to the information they need, and to provide them with the services quickly and efficiently at the lowest cost. So libraries must not violate the library rules and regulation by allowing our friends and the relatives to download regardless the regulations and copying entire the books and the downloading books illegally and the providing it and copying and distributing books whether for a fee or a free. And on the other hand, librarians should coordinate with the effective implementation of the exception and the limitation of the copyright. So librarians have to respect the intellectual property rights of the authors and the creators, ensuring not to violate their rights. So we should limit to use their literary and artistic materials by the formulating rules. So for example, allowing user to copy only one third at time, and allowing user to read a limited numbers of pages for the electronic books, and to get permission to download, and allow user to download only a limited number of pages at a time. So it's a way that librarian provide not violate the intellectual property rights of the owner or the creator. And another topic is the neutrality. And neutrality or personal integrity and the professional skills. So librarians are strictly committed to the neutrality and bias attitude regarding the collection and the assets and the services. So neutrality results the most balanced collections and the most balanced access to information achievable and providing good services. For the unbiased and the reputable librarians, policy related to the library operations are formulated and published. Mainly, we have to formulate the collection development policy and collection management policy and the circulation or information retrieval policy and preservation and conservation policy, administration or the human resource management policy, and so on. So these without the policies, we can do our library operation successfully. With the existing policies, the library operation can be continued even though the changes of the librarians and the library staff. Librarians enhance the reputations and the acting fairly in the selections and the appointment of the library staff, and to consider about their promotion and the utilizing of the library funds and the providing the library services. The duties and responsibilities of the librarians and the library staff are also defined. So by defining this, the personal beliefs and the personal interests are less prioritized, and then responsibility and the accountability will increase. So as conclusion, the libraries are the public trust institution, so that upholds the concept of the public benefit. And Librarians and the library professionals are the responsible for providing the highest quality services to all library users. So actually the librarianship is a noble profession. So we try to provide the information that other people need in time. So only by strictly following the ethical rules, so our librarian stands as the respected professionals in the society. So thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daw Mya Oo, for your very, very informative presentation uh, about the Liberian ethics. It is very useful for all of us because it's not only for the librarians. I think it's also for the library users. The information you have just given us is very helpful and very useful. Thank you. So may I now open the floor for the participants who are here. It's time for question and answer sessions. So if you have any questions directly related to this topic, this librarian ethics, you can come up. Because we have like 15 more minutes for this Q&A session. I'm sure Daw Mya Oo has provided us with some information about the, especially the do's and don'ts. That's very interesting. Something like the librarians should not do is hiding materials.
There's a question. There's a question.
Yes, please. Yes, please unmute and you can ask.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Speaker Daw Mya Oo. It's very knowledgeable presentation about library ethics. I have one or two questions.
Yes.
I'm super glad when you talk about ethnic groups, publications, you kept it in the library and all. For me, I brought up with the generation. We simply go to the library with a lot of books, which are hidden, which are not open, access to all the students and all. Anyway, when you talk about ethnic groups publication, is it really limited to Shan ethnic groups? And what kind of books do you have in your library?
In SSBU, we have mostly Shan ethnic groups publications, language in Shan languages. And because we have a program that Shan manuscript, the BA and the MA program, so they use the Shan languages the most. And also not only the printed publication in Shan languages, but also we have the Shan Parabyte menu collections in all are the Shan languages, but it's different because the ancient Shan the scripts. So the modern Shan cannot cannot read properly. So we have ancient Shan manuscripts collections and the Shan printed Shan languages collections and also the Pa'o language collections. Now we have three kinds of ethnic collections. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Shama. My question is next level. When you said books are in ethnic Shan, what kind of genre? What kind of subject categories you have them in ethnic language? Is it Buddhism or economics or statistics or?
Yes. In Shan collections.
Rare.
Yes. In Shan collections it's the various subjects. Not only the Buddhism, they have a literature like the the shun fiction and shun the poetry and shun tradition, like the tradition and shun history. So many subjects in these collections.
So more literature stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's more literature.
Yes.
Yeah. And Siama, second question, sorry, I go quick. When you talk about policies, the first two that you talk about collective something, collective in terms of what? I really don't understand these kind of policies. The first two.
Policy, you mean the
when you talk about
policy?
Yes, Emma, what exactly are they, the first two?
First two?
Yeah. I think it's like 4 or 5 list of policies you
Yes.
presented. Yeah, the first two.
Oh.
Collection development, collection management. Well, what is this collection thing? Develop what?
We have many policies in libraries. Our collection development policy is relating to get the collection to the library. So we have rules, what kinds of materials we have to collect, and what types of material we have to collect, and then the subject area, and also the materials, the medium. The medium maybe are printed books or manuscripts or CDs or music or like this. So we have to write down the policy, what we need to collect to the library. So this is the collection development policy, and collection management policy is how to arrange our collection in the right way, and then to use right way, and then to get for use by the users. So it means the cataloging and the arrangement of the shelving, and then we have to separate
like
the
library
collected
science administration. Okay.
Yes, this is the
Oh,
management.
Isama, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you. We're lucky having you here. It's very knowledgeable. Thank you, Siamaji.
Thank you for your questions. And any more? Yes, we still have time for questions.
Yeah, Siama.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much for your knowledgeable presentation. I'm not satisfied with the one rule, regulation. When we want to copy some rare book, the rule said we cannot copy the whole book at one time. At one part of the book, we have to copy. So if we copy 3 times, we can get the whole book.
Yes.
So what is the purpose of this rule?
It's we need to protect the intellectual property rights, copyright of the author, copyright of the owner, and the copyright of the creator, because libraries have the right to copy the books, but we don't copy the whole book in one time. To maybe to avoid the copying the whole book, to avoid the copying the whole book of the author. So we provide 1/3 of the book one time. So if you need one book, maybe 3 people can copy. 3 people and copy 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. Or maybe, or you copy one time this today or tomorrow and 1/3, and then the day after tomorrow you copy 1/3, maybe the same. Yeah. So it's the just for the librarian right that maybe copying the books without
Pomo is
permission of the
violating.
owner
Pomo
is
is violating the rules.
yes.
Không phải đều là cái lông chan đâu trả vô.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand that rule because I already violate that in Kawai library.
Yes, everybody does. Yes,
Rules,
it's because the rules is for
rules are
all
there
the.
to break.
Yes, may I add? May I add? I think it's the rules is for all the libraries in the whole world, because these books are supposed to be sold. The publisher, the author want to sell the books, but what if we copy everything? We don't buy the books. So the authors, they
Oh.
don't get, the publisher, they don't get the money.
You know,
So this is
you-
simple. As simple.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, we have a joke. Yeah, you know, we have a joke. When you say copyright, right to copy.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. Yes, more questions?
Everything's got copyright. I mean, you got right to copy. Yeah, these are the rules.
Yeah, okay. That's a good
Golden-
reason.
Yes.
Because I had no idea before that. I just thinking about the rare book, very old book. But for the new books, the author want to say his book. Okay, that's a fair. I agree that idea. Thank you for your
we
explanation.
call it is the fair use. The
Ah,
fair
Fair use.
use, because
Fair use.
for copying the books, the whole books to the users will sell it, and then it may be violate the rules, violate the copyright law. So maybe the librarian has the trouble things. So that's a way that we protect the librarians as the fair use regulations. But for the educational purpose, it's allowed.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the commercial purpose.
Sometimes, no, the
Yeah.
policy sometimes very funny to me that online subscribe website. If we want to download one file, we have to upload 5 file, right?
Yes.
Whatever file we upload, we can download. Sorry to say that. I just write something or copy from something, one page, one file video, one page, one file video, 5 video upload. I can download.
Pomo is abusing library resources. Tiama, another question, Tiama. When you talk
Yes.
about these open source application, or I don't know, your software, meaning are you running a digital library as well over there at Chan University?
It's not means a digital library. It's used the library software, because library software means all the functions are included. For example, the
I know the software, Tiama.
Yes. So
Yeah, my
use,
question is, since you have access to all these software, are you running digital library as well, or all traditional paperback in your library?
not digital. We use the hybrid. We use the hybrid system because
I see.
we use PDF, the ebooks on the other hand, and then the Seattle
I see. Okay.
to use the printed books. So we use the books, but we use the software for the borrowing and the returning back, and the maybe some the manual works in the software.
Do you have any links to any other libraries in Myanmar or international?
Yes.
Can you order, request book exchange and things as
Not
such?
yet, not yet.
Yes?
For a book, it is not yet. Yes.
But you can order, request, borrow the book from any other library. You have a link?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I myself have a question. May I ask? Yes. So you mentioned about the limitations of reading number of pages of ebooks, which is quite
Yes.
similar to photocopy thing. So what if a user needs to skim the whole book, run through to get the information he or she is looking for? What if the user doesn't know where to locate the information in the whole books? So we have to run through it. We have to skim it. In such case, how would a librarian suggest the user?
That's why the librarians needs to know the information and the data in the books. So we have to read the books and the contents in advance, and maybe if you need some information about, for example, a Abhidhamma or something, so we will refer that what book and which topics in this book is mentioned this subject or like this. So you will find the subject, you will find the pages, and then you can copy it or like this.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's very useful for me as well. Thank you.
In
More
that
questions?
in that case, I had one idea, so
Yeah.
Yes.
I just allowed Noble and just ask, it does include this information, Noble AI.
Oh,
He
yes.
can share
Right.
information.
Yeah. We have this technology we can rely on. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We have like 4 more minutes for Q&A. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to the topic of creating awareness, I think libraries here are not very efficient in promoting and creating awareness for the general public. That's how I feel right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Your opinion?
Before 2021, the National Library, when I worked in the National Library, I try to publicize the some publications, some collections in the National Library to be borrow to the public, maybe especially to the government staffs and the government offices, because in Singapore, there are the National Library, the Singapore National Library also provide the circulation services to their nationalities, and even we visited to the library, we can borrow it. For the National Library of Korea, we can borrow it because we can be a membership at the library, National Library. So I wanted to change some regulations in the National Library, because traditionally the National libraries don't borrow don't follow the rules of the borrowing publish their collections to the public. They keep their collections as the national heritage, and then maybe in our country, the National Library also got only 2 copies of the publications. So the seniors are afraid of the loss of books from the library. That's why. But when the National Library law was out in 2019, I think 2019, I think. So I tried to formulate the borrowing the circulation policy for the library, National Library, to the public nearby the surrounding. But after the process was stopped. So for borrowing the process to the public, and then we need to publicize the National Library to public.
Right. So yes, the last question would be from May Tukaso, who has just raised a hand. So please, Miss May.
Yes, thank you, Siama, speaker and the moderator, for your for giving me a chance to ask actually not a question, just more of like more like my curiosity, because I a little bit late to listen to the presentation at the start. Yeah, so for my curiosity is as a librarian and your perspective, and also I've learned that you have the load of knowledge in the library, not only in the current university, private university, but also in the public university before, for like perspective of the librarian for the future, library librarian aspects on the reliance on the library of the library users, especially in the academic institutions like universities, both private and the public. How do you foresee, or how do you comment on the perspective of the libraries? Because today is the AI age, and all the informations are widely available through the web, and not only the as the other audience discussed before, it's not only the source. Library is the not only source, available source, like in our past time, because informations are widely spread, and also AIs appeared. So in that case, and also library and the informations are can be easily available by the user. So in that sense, how our traditional library, like the institutions and still it is useful, right? It is not and this is not a questionable. It's a reference library, still be a reference library for the students for the required readings. So like I wanted to know your as a experienced librarian, how do you expect, and how do you comment the future and the perspective of the library, especially in our country, and the library users of the future generations and the current Siama?
Yes, the issue was not the currently occurred. It was when the ebooks come out, maybe 20 maybe 20 years ago. So some people are worried about that the library will disappear. Library will be disappear because mostly the people use the ebook with the Kindle and the devices or like this. So nobody come to the library and to read the printed books. Maybe they have a question like that. So, but still we have a printed books, and still the library collect the printed books for the users, because the atmosphere in the library and the reading ebooks with the devices on our own is very different. So library is the space for the not only for the reading area. Library is space for the community, for public library. It's a space for the meeting of the community, and the space for the educating of the people. Sometimes we use the library as the training space. We use the library as maybe the relaxation, or sometimes we use it for the educational to the people, or sometimes we use the library as the launching the books or something. So library is not only the space for reading and space for collecting the books, and the library is space for all purposes for the community benefits. So the trend and the situation of the library is changed, or maybe change as the community center, not the storage of the books only. So it will be sometimes we worried about that the AI AI generate everything for people, but uh, that's why librarian knows that the information literacy program to provide the information literacy to the community, because which information is reliable, which information is true, and which information is wrong, and which is fake information. So we need to know, and then we have to educate the community about the information and they have. It's right or wrong, or maybe a reliable or unreliable. So it is the librarians are the responsibility to educate the about the information they found in the internet or something, because all information is not right in the Google. For example, for AI, sometimes we use AI to know something, but the AI provide the information. Some information is just only the facts, not reliable, no reference source. But for the library, we have a printed book. It's the authors already are research or already or they mention the idea, and then the published books are the more reliable than the AI, and then the ebook, and then the Google's or Wikipedia. Because for the librarians, we don't use the reference source as Wikipedia as a reference source, because Wikipedia can edit every time. So the information in the internet can editable and can be changeable. So it's not a reliable. Most of the information internet are not reliable. So maybe some are the wrong information for us. So that's why the library is important for the resources for the users, and it will be as very much be useful to get the what we say to get the reliable sources. It's rather than the internet sources.
Yes, I agree, and also it is knowledgeable about your point of view. It is really important for like the library users while studying in university or the institutions. Yeah. Still, I also think that I also believe that library still become a reference, like for students, let's say about the when the teachers and the professors asked the students in the class to read about, like for example, there is always I always analyze as there is a required reading, and the required reading is a must, and for this required reading, we still relied on the library sources, even whether it is the paper hard copy, or in the, like as we discussed before, like the online digital library. But because there is always two kinds of list. in the reading list. Require is a must, right? It's a must, right, to pass or to pass or to learn the things that we are taught in the classroom. But the other is the other on the other hand is it's not a required reading. It is a more, if you have any time, extra time, you may want to read it or not. If you are not enough time, it's okay. But required reading is the required. In that sense, like libraries still become, the required sources, information sources for the students. Yeah. But one thing is that for the private university, I'm a little bit knowledge about the library in the country, especially for the public library, but the private university library like that SSBU library, for example, that you are overseeing, will the university library will become the digital library in the near future or not? Yeah, that's my last wondering, Siama. Yes.
Oh, yes. For
Thank
the
you.
university libraries, we have to use the both printed and the other digital materials, because the digital materials can be handled easily, but for the printed books, we use it for the definite the references, and for digital publications, we can carry it to everywhere with the devices. But for the university libraries, we don't maybe not only the digital sources, but also we need the research works. So research works cannot be published in the digital form because they provide very limited access. So if you want to find some articles in some sources, you need to subscribe, or you need to pay fees to read it, or for downloading you need to pay another the courses, another fees, like this. So for digitizing the digital resources, you have to pay a lot rather than the book. So for the university library, for SSBU library, we collected books as much as possible, because books can be maybe reach easily, but for digital publication, you need device. For printed books, you don't need device. So it's maybe different. In some cases, for digital publication, they don't have the sound references like the pages or something. And so for the here, we are facing that some students use the PDF file or some ebooks for their essays or some their exercises, but for the references, for the references and for the footnotes or something, they have to come to the library and borrow the printed books for their references, maybe the pages information or something. So for my opinion, we have to use both materials, not only the printed books, but also the digital materials. To be digital materials easy to use, but we need the devices. But for the sound references, we need the printed books for their references.
Thank you, Siama. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss May, for your interesting questions, and also Daw Mya Oo for your very clear and comprehensive answers. Thank you very much. And I think it's time to end our presentation session. So may I request our Venerable Uwi Sota for speech, final wrap up?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Speaker Siamaji Daw Mya Oo, and moderator So Yimon. Is very knowledgeable. We got the enlightened about the library. This is very informative. Thank you so much for your presentation and your time. I hope we can see you near future again. No? This is our appreciation. That's certificate. Thank you so much. Later, we can see you again. See you.
Sadhu, sadhu. So,
Shall we recite
before,
Buddha Sasana?
yes,
Yes.
Buddha Sasana, Sina,
Data two.
Buddha
Sasana, Sivan Data two. Buddha Sivan Data two.
Sadhu. So for further discussions, I will be remain here, and the speaker also will be remain here for some time. So I really
Thank you.
appreciate your presentation, Daw Mya Oo. It's really, really interesting, and I'm very much impressed by our last discussion, which is the conventional, the traditional printed books versus the electronic resources. This is a very common debate in the 21st century, whether this will gone, the traditional library will be gone because there is substitution of the e-libraries. But your answer is very relevant because I think we need both. As a researcher and I used to be I always a student. So these libraries, whenever I enter the libraries, it's always motivate me, and I've got inspirations from various books and various authors. So this is one thing I value about the libraries. So I think there are many others who feel the same as me. To know and to appreciate the values of the physical libraries and also the digital resources. Yes.
Yes. The atmosphere is different,
Yes.
Yes. When you go to the library, you meet your friends and then you have the discussion with the topics or something. So it's the kind of the communication, and then for your motivation in for your subject or for your the works or something, or not only for reading, just for meeting and the discussion. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's